What's up everyone, Matthew K. Heafy here from Trivium and Ibaraki. My new Epiphone MKH Origins are available right now on zZounds.com. Originally, when we were planning on making Epiphone MKH, the plan was to grab my 1999 Gibson Les Paul Custom that I got when I was a kid. I sent that over to Epiphone. I said, model this exactly. Check the weight, the playability, the feel, everything about this guitar, and let's make it into the price point that is correct for our fan base and for our supporters. Something that I can play the exact same guitar that comes off the music store shelf, that comes from the factory of Epiphone, and it's the same guitar that kids can buy at the music store. Because as a kid, I would always be let down. I'd say, oh, there's my favorite guitar player's guitar, but he plays the $5,000 or the $10,000 version, and that was a different version. So I wanted to make sure the same thing that I use is the same thing people are going to use when they pick it up in the store. So over the years, as we can see, the original MKHs did incredibly well, the 6 and 7 black and whites. And this time, we wanted to basically give the entire model a new evolution. The reason why they're called Origins is because they're based off the original guitars that people first ever saw me with Trivium, which would have been the Pull Harder video with the black Les Paul Custom, and the Gunshot video, which was actually the white Supreme, but I wanted to shift it to be the Les Paul Custom as I like things to match. So we took the MKH Epiphone that was already perfect, modeled after the old Gibson, and did some modern changes. First one, noticeably, is the new modern cutaway heel. I love the way this feels because it's a mixture of what we felt with the old MKH, but also going back to the way a true Les Paul Custom feels. I feel the accessibility is much better for my playing style. Still currently on the 6th string, it's a 24 3/4 inch scale, which I feel it should be. I do have people sometimes ask me, Matt, why not 24 frets? I never really used 24 frets. I prefer 22 personally for 6 and 7. The 7th string did get an evolution. It is now 25.5 inch scale for the 7th string. So it's actually a lot beefier of a tone, heavier playing. It sounds incredible. Went with a thinner neck this time around. So the guitar is lighter, the neck is faster, the neck is thinner. The strap pegs are pretty amazing. It's these diamond style ones. So this way, when someone gets the guitar, brings it out of the box, they can put a strap on it safely and not have the guitar fall if they're jumping around at all. We went with the locking Grover tuners. Now it's not locking in the sense that it's gonna keep your pitch, because that's not what I like with the tuners, but what I love about these is you only have to put a little bit of string through, clamps down, and you can get it to where you want it to be in the tuning. The pickups are a huge change. We went with the Fishman MKH Customs. These are 3-voice Fishmans. Now the way Fishmans have been described to me, they are passive pickups with active technology. However, there is an active voice, that's the one that's down, that's when all the knobs are down. You raise it and it becomes essentially the passive voice. From there, you can also lift up the tone knob, and there's multiple combinations. As you can see, I'm terrible at math, but there's 4. And you can go between the 3. So there's a lot of endless possibilities you could do there. But now you have a single coil tone on both the bridge, the middle, and the neck. And I think that once people are able to play a Les Paul and hear it, and they can hear it sound like that super twangy single coil thing, it's pretty unbelievable. I've never really heard a Les Paul sound that way till my guitar. We went a little bit more modern in the look. I dropped the rhythm treble thing. I wanted to go with similarities with the guitar, where we don't change any of the hardware between the white and the black. It's the same black pickups, it's the same gold hardware, it's the same black knurled knobs. Now, why knurled over the classics? I feel like sometimes the classics, when you're playing live, I knock them off. The knurleds, that's not really possible. I feel like they're much stronger, they're much sturdier. The guitar really has live in mind, since Trivium has been playing live shows since I was 12 and a half, 13 years old. I knew what I needed to happen. It needed to be minimal, it needed to be perfected, it needed to be sleek and modern. It has my signature built in, which I'm always happy about. It has the new truss cover right here, the Les Paul MKH Origins Custom. We have this in 6 and 7 string, black and white, and actually a righty and a lefty. Lefties, we heard you loud and clear. You were yelling at me for the last decade that you wanted some left-handed guitar. So we'll have left, right, black, white, 6, 7. So Epiphone and Gibson have entrusted in me to have 8 guitars this time around, so I hope you love all of them as much as I do. Everyone, make sure you check out the new MKH Origins from zZounds.com. That's 2 Z's, ZZounds.com.